In the United States, enterprises spent $684 billion on AI last year. By the year end, more than $547 billion of that had produced zero measurable results. Not low returns, zero. The same pattern is happening in UK, in Singapore, and in Australia. And a landmark global report published last week explains exactly why and what the 20% who actually succeed are doing that everyone else is not. Stay with me. This is the episode that could save your AI budget. So, the United States is the world's biggest AI market. The RAND Corporation analyzed over 2,400 enterprise AI initiatives. 80% of AI projects fail to deliver their intended business value. In 2025, enterprises poured $684 billion into AI. By year end, more than $547 billion produced no measurable results, and the board pressure is real. 98% of board directors are now demanding demonstrated AI ROI, and 71% of CIOs expect budget cuts if they miss mid 2026 targets. The United Kingdom is stuck in automation purgatory. One advanced 2026 annual trends report said 58% of UK organizations face a platform integration crisis. 55% remain stuck in what they call automation purgatory. They've started, they can't stop, and they can't scale. And here's the number that should alarm every UK business leader. PwC's Global CEO Survey 2026. 56% of CEOs report zero measurable ROI from their AI investments. More than half, zero return. Now, the Australia has the AI paradox. Australia's federal budget this year put AI at the center of its national productivity strategy. But in 2026, we're seeing an AI paradox. Individual tasks are getting faster, but enterprise value remains stalled. ServiceNow's AI Maturity Index, Australia scores just 36 out of 100. Only 10% of Australian enterprises feel ready to reorganize their business with AI, despite 82% planning to increase AI investment this year. Now, Singapore is leading Asia, still missing production. Singapore is arguably the most AI governance forward market in India. IMDA's own data says AI adoption among SMEs tripled in just 1 year, from 4.2% to 14.5%. That's impressive momentum. But even Singapore, which leads Asia Pacific with a 34% production rate for AI agents, means 66% of its AI agent deployments will never make into production. Four countries, four different economic contexts, same problem. The tools are there, the budgets are there, the ambition is there, the execution is not. Here's what the press releases get wrong about all of this. Every time a report like this comes out, the narrative becomes AI is harder than expected, as if the technology is the problem. After 15 years working across enterprise technology, cloud architecture, and consulting, I can tell you that framing is exactly backwards, and it's costing organizations billions. Folio 3 analysis of 140 enterprise AI implementation says only 23% of failures were caused by model performance or integration complexity. The remaining 77% came down to strategy, governance, and change management. 77%, 3 out of 4 AI failures are not technical, they are organizational. Now let's talk about three failed patterns which are consistent across US, UK, Singapore, and Australia. The first pattern: organizations try to build intelligent systems on unintelligent data. Publicist Sapient 2026 says AI won't fail for lack of models, it will fail for lack of data discipline. AI projects rarely fail because of bad models. They fail because the data feeding them is inconsistent and fragmented. 45% of UK businesses cite data security as their number one barrier to scaling AI, not the model, the data underneath it. 43% of Australian enterprises have formalized data governance. That's all. 2.3 times higher AI success rates for Singapore organizations with formal data governance versus those without. The pattern is identical everywhere. Brilliant AI sitting on broken data foundations. The second pattern, the governance is treated as compliance, not architecture. BCG says 60% of companies fail to define or monitor financial KPIs tied to AI value creation. 61% of AI projects were approved on projected ROI that was never measured after launch. Singapore is actually ahead of the curve here, and this is a direct lesson for every other market. IMDA released the Model AI Governance Framework for Agentic AI in January 2026. MAS published an AI Risk Management Toolkit for financial institutions in March 2026. These aren't just compliance documents, they are operational blueprints. Globally, 36% of enterprises lack any formal plan for supervising AI agents, and 35% admit they couldn't immediately shut down a rogue agent if they needed to. You cannot govern what you haven't designed for governance, and you cannot defend a budget you haven't measured. Third pattern is access to AI is being confused with readiness to use it. So Deloitte State of AI 2026 says 60% of employees now have access to AI tools, which is up 50% year over year. But fewer than 60% of them regularly use those tools. UK government's own AI adoption research says 60% of businesses cited limited AI skills and expertise as their key blocker. 71% said they hadn't identified a clear use for AI in their organization. Access without strategy is noise, and noise doesn't show in the P&L statement. So what does the 20% that actually succeeds do differently? So three things. Test your own organization against each one right now. The first one, define before you deploy. The winners define success before they touch the technology. Not, we want to improve efficiency, something you can defend in board meeting in 6 months. We want to reduce contract review time from 4 hours to 45 minutes, measured monthly with clear ownership in legal operations. HCLTech in 2026 said 10-month meridian payback period for major AI investments in successful implementation. That's your benchmark. If your AI initiative doesn't have a number, a timeline, and an owner, it doesn't have a future. Second, fix data before you can scale the model. Winners treat data governance as architecture, not administration. In Singapore, this is being mandated from the top. IMDA and MAS have built these frameworks. In the UK and Australia, it is largely optional. The organizations that voluntarily adopt governance discipline are dramatically outperforming those that wait for regulation to force it. Data organizations with formal data governance programs achieve 2.3 times higher AI success rate. 2.3 times. That's not a marginal gain, that's a structural advantage. The third, upskill in parallel, not after. The winners build human capability at the same time as technical capability, not after deployment. AI super users are 3 times more likely to get a raise or promotion and 5 times more productive than those who are slow to adopt. After 15 years working across enterprise technology, cloud architecture, and consulting across markets, here's my honest read. The companies winning the AI game right now aren't the ones with the most sophisticated models. They are the ones who treated AI deployment like a business transformation with the same rigor they had applied to an ERP rollout or a regulatory change program. The technology is ready. The question is whether your organization is. Now, every week, I bring you one story that didn't make the headlines but should have. So, this week, Australia's federal budget 2026 put AI at the center of its national productivity strategy with AI accelerator grants, R&D reforms, and government IT modernization. But here's what the budget press release didn't say. Investment alone won't move the productivity needle. The harder problem is execution. Australia has one of the most motivated government AI agendas in the Asia Pacific and one of the lowest enterprise AI readiness scores in the developed world. That gap is an opportunity for consultants, architects, and AI literacy trainers. Australia is about to create significant demand for exactly the skills we talk about on this channel every week. Watch the market closely. Before you go, I want you to do this one thing this week. Open a blank document. Write down the name of your company's biggest current AI initiative. Then answer three questions. What is the specific measurable outcome it's targeting? Second, who owns the success metric? And third, when was the last time somebody checked the data quality underneath it? If you can't answer these three questions, you now know exactly where your risk is. Drop your answer in the comments. What's the weakest link in your organization's AI execution? I read every single one. Next Thursday, Apple's WWDC opens on June 8th. They're about to drop the biggest AI announcement in Apple's history. And for every enterprise running on Apple hardware, which is most of you, it changes the AI stack conversation entirely. I'll have the full breakdown for you then. Thank you for listening. This is Spiritual Raj. Namaskar.